Let's talk about this extraordinary story overnight. 75 million people, as of this morning, had watched Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin, the Russian president. And they're saying that Carlson basically let him off the hook, went really soft on him. You've watched some of it. Putin started off with about a half an hour of Russian history. Then he started poking fun to Tucker Carlson about the fact Carlson had tried to join the CIA. And Putin said, thank God they didn't let you in. He didn't pressurize Putin on human rights records, on war crimes. Tucker Carlson, somebody said to me, he's not a journalist, he's an influencer.
Yeah, I think we have to remember this was the biggest moment of Tucker Carlson's career. He's not going to get a bigger interview, even if he gets to interview another president of the United States. This is actually a bigger get because this man is off limits to most, I say Western journalists, any journalist who isn't Russian. So this was the moment, if you like, to demonstrate to the world that this man, who is not backed by a major media corporation or anything like that, was sort of a pro-interviewer, that he could perhaps extract little nuggets of information that others couldn't. Because this is the thing, if he'd gone in all guns blazing and gone, Mr. President, what do you say about these war crimes allegations in Bucha, he wouldn't have got anything of any value.
Yeah,
he would have
right,
just been stonewalled. This was an opportunity to show that he could do it in an intelligent way and try to perhaps get something out of him, catch Putin off guard. To be honest with you, I think Putin ran rings around him. I think that half-hour opening segment where Putin basically went, what we're going to do now is I'm going to give you a lecture on medieval Russian history. And Tucker Carlson he wasn't prepared for that. He didn't know what was coming.
Just what I wanted.
Absolutely nothing. And then, as you say, then the jokes came out, then the teasing, the jibes. And we do have to remember here, Vladimir Putin is no idiot. He was a former KGB intelligence officer. This is a man who's managed to get himself and remain at the top of Russian politics. You only do that by being rather intelligent. Yeah. So the idea, I think, that we were going to get a sort of an incisive interview was always slightly for the birds. But I think it will be one of those where people go back over it again and again and again. And I think some pearls might emerge from it, you know, getting a window into Putin's mindset. Because let's be clear here, I don't think he lied about a lot of things. He might have avoided things, but he gave you exactly how he sees the world. And in that, there is some value, because we don't often hear that, frankly, from him.
I mean, there's no doubt a good bit of political theatre. It's obviously compelling viewing, 75 million people. That's as of this morning, probably 100 million now. And in the midst of this 2-hour interview, you might say 2-hour lecture by Putin, Putin made the extraordinary claim that 18 months ago he was pursuing peace with Ukraine, but in stepped Boris Johnson to urge Zelensky to carry on fighting, that Boris Johnson ruined the peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. I don't think so, but let's listen to Vlad's claim.
I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying. I don't think that I am. I think you're saying you want a negotiated settlement to what's happening in Ukraine.
Right. And we made it. We prepared a huge document in Istanbul that was initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He affixed his signature to some of the provisions, not to all of it. He put his signature, and then he himself said, we were ready to sign it and the war would have been over long ago, 18 months ago. However, Prime Minister Johnson came, talked us out of it, and we missed that chance. Well, you missed it, you made a mistake.
Well, I'm going to give you my learned opinion on what Putin just said, and this might soar over some of your heads, but that was, ladies and gentlemen, a load of old crap. But there you go. Putin controlled this narrative. But one thing we all noticed, by the way, a big high point in this interview is Putin did say that he's prepared to do a deal to release our colleague from the Wall Street Journal, Evan Gershkovich. So that was a chink of light. But throughout this interview, he was twitching, his feet were going everywhere. I think we can have a look at this. And he was sort of controlling his own hands. Look at those feet there. Look at that. Look at this. All the time, this sort of shaking. There's something wrong with him, isn't there?
There's been a lot of speculation for some time, actually, about his general health. And, we wouldn't go as far as some people have said to suspect that he might have, been much more ill than than he appears. But there are some suggestions he might have had a minor stroke. When you see him walking, one side of his body doesn't move as freely as the other. And as you say right there, he's clearly sort of struggling to contain those twitches. It appears to be down the left side of his body. So, I mean, I can't imagine it's because he was nervous that he was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. It might be, it might be the response to something else, maybe medication, you never know. But clearly, somebody who is not entirely well at ease. Then again, why would you be if you're the president of Russia? And one false move no longer results in just being ushered into a waiting car and being told thanks for your service. Instead, it's something involving windows, shall we say, and slightly more adrenaline-inducing.
Yeah, as I say, useful theatre. It's on Twitter right now. As I say, millions of people tuning in. But don't take too much of what Putin says seriously. Take it with a pinch of salt. And he did play his puppet, Tucker Carlson, like a fiddle, no doubt about that. Having said that, I can understand why Tucker Carlson would want to get that interview. You know, I don't pretend to be anything like a good journalist, but I might make a few deals to get to see Putin in the Kremlin. There you go. It's really good, when, like me, when you don't have any principles. So you know.